Welcome to Radical Dad Podcast, where we dive into the wild and wonderful world of fatherhood with your hosts, Dakota and Kevin. Join us as we explore the highs and lows of parenting, share insightful stories, and challenge the norms of what it means to be a dad in today's society. With a blend of humor and candid conversations, we aim to inspire and empower fathers to embrace their unique journeys. Whether you're a new dad, a seasoned pro, or somewhere in between, you'll find something here that resonates. So grab your headphones and get ready to join the revolution in parenting.
Welcome back to the Radical Dad Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm your host, Dakota. This is a show for guys navigating IVF, fatherhood, and everything in between. The real version, not just the highlight reel.
Let's get into it.
All right, Kev. So I think last week we dove into a lot of our background, a lot of our IVF stories, a lot of the do's and the don'ts. We learned that I should not be slapping cheek after giving some IVF meds. We learned a lot about, kind of my personal story a little bit. We definitely touched on a lot of the medicines, a lot of what goes on behind the scenes of IVF.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna lighten this episode up a little bit. This is episode 3 of the Radical Dad Podcast, so I thought we should, lighten it up a little bit. We should talk about some fun things, not all the downer stuff that goes along with the journeys. But this episode's gonna be fun. This is gonna be uplifting. This is gonna be light. We're gonna talk about some stories of just the pregnancy journey itself, not necessarily IVF in general,
right?
But just the journey. So. This episode is, she's pregnant now. What? All right. So that's the question I'm going to pose to you first is like, all right, she's pregnant now. What was your first initial thoughts? Obviously going through IVF, the idea and the goal was to get pregnant, but what was your first initial thoughts when she came to you? Like, what was the story? Was it really cool? Did she surprise you? Like what, how did your guys' story kind of develop?
Oh, she surprised me for sure, my guy. It was, I got home from work and there she was waiting in the kitchen for me. And she had to test it. And I was like, no way. She's like, yeah, this is real. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is legit. You're not just pulling my leg. She's like, no. I was like, I was stoked, ecstatic emotions going through, and just thinking about like, this is happening. And first thought was, I'm curious to know, what are we having? But but with that being said, it was just a lot of emotions, feeling overwhelmed, joy, and grateful.
Yeah, I think my story is a little bit different. I think Brendan was more of, I want to try to take every pregnancy test that Walgreens, CVS, and Target had. So that's how ours were. That's how ours was. And so I wasn't necessarily surprised. Obviously, right. The idea was, hopefully we're going to get that positive test. Ironically enough, we found out going to your 4th of July party, but we didn't tell anybody, right? We didn't like bust the news out that right then and there. We wanted to kind of wait for, and again, it's IVF. People are going to understand this who are going through this. We wanted to make sure that it was there, right? Mm-hmm. Like pregnancy tests are great. They're almost 99.9% of the time correct. But with IVF and kind of going through that whole journey, you kind of wait around and you're like, oh, this is too good to be true, and whatnot. And so you're like, man, I hope this is legit. I think when Brennan told me that we were pregnant, I think she took a test, and I don't think she actually realized or was anticipating that it was going to say positive. right? It was
Right.
one of those like those digitals,
Hmm.
and we were still early on. We had just done our frozen embryo transfer, and I think she was more like caught off guard. I think she was surprised because she was videoing herself. Like she has done this thing where she has documented her entire journey on TikTok. And
Right.
so she's like, "Hey Dakota, can you come like look at this?" And I was like, "I don't know." I just thought she was like tracking her stuff, and I was like, "Okay, great, yeah, I'll come take a peek." Um, and then like she was like, "Hey, go like pick that up," and I was like, "Oh no way!" And I picked it up, and I like the first immediate like rush that I had was, "This is crazy! Like this is actually happening! Like no way!" Um, I made a couple jokes, and I was like, "We're gonna be so broke," but like that's all we wanted. I think I was jumping up and down like, "You are gonna be so broke," um, but I think it was just like the immediate like reaction was kind of like shock, right?
Right.
Because you're just like, "Oh my gosh, it worked." Not that like that's a shock to us, but you're just
Hmm.
like, is it our time, right? I think we
Yeah.
touched on that on episode 2. Like, was it our time? Is it finally happening for us? So did you kind of feel that as well? Did you kind of feel like that shock, but also like, oh, is this for real? Like, were you kind of like hesitant to kind of get excited? Like, were those things like in the back of your head? Is this too good to be true? Like, were you thinking about that, or was it just me being mental?
I think for myself with us with the first transfer we did because we had success on the first transfer, but the first time us going into IVF, I was just I was in shock because I was like, oh, okay, like this is happening, but also at the exact same time, it's like you just overwhelmed because I start analyzing and start thinking of like stuff that we need, and
Mhm.
or just being like more personable, you know what I'm saying? Thinking, hey, this is the point in my life where I'm better than my father, but carry on.
And I think that like one of those things that like I thought early and often in the process of like getting that first positive pregnancy test
Hmm.
was like I don't know if I gave like an immediate genuine reaction. And apologize. My dog has decided that it's time to go to the bathroom in the middle of the podcast. So if you hear some rustling around, that would be him. Um, but I think early on in the process, I was just like, I didn't think I was going to give a genuine reaction because like it's almost like most people go through that journey of it's always a surprise. With people
Right.
going through IVF, it's more timed than anything. Um, you don't get those oh my gosh, like you have a positive test, like this is a great thing. You get the man, I hope it's positive,
Yeah.
and for me, I'm very much a mental guy. I probably overthink more than the average human. Um, but that's kind of where I sat for the first like two, like I would say week and a half. I think you saw me at work and you're like, I told you, and you were like, man, that's awesome. And I was like, I just kind of like didn't really give much of like a, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It was
Right.
just more
Right.
of like in my head, I was just thinking, man, I hope this works. Man, I hope this sticks.
Hmm.
Well, now that we're there at that point, and I think I'm still at that point of like, I don't think I'm really going to believe that this is happening until maybe like 12 weeks in. And that may be bad to say. This is
Right.
just me being very candid. Um, I just don't want to put myself, and we talked about vulnerability
Yeah.
in last week's episode. It's like, you've put yourself mentally in so many different areas of the journey, trying to be there for your wife, trying to navigate, financially. Okay, like do we have things tied down? Are we ready to go? Like what do we have to look forward to? And then you have the emotional aspect of it of like you've gone through so many negative tests. You've gone through, watching your loved one, you know, track their ovulation, track all this stuff, and nothing seems to work. And it just kind of, and this is a long-winded answer, so my apologies to everybody listening. But like it's the mental game that I felt like I played of maybe I wasn't there early whenever we got told we were pregnant because I think I was still mentally just trying to decompress all the things around me,
Hmm.
and I hope I'm not alone. Maybe I am because I'm crazy. Um,
You know,
But I was excited. I was excited, right? Like that's something to be excited about. It's something
it
we've been
is.
chasing for so long, and so um, I'm glad that you got to that she surprised you. I think Brennan was trying to surprise me, but also she was just like, pardon my French, but oh shit, like,
Right.
oh, we got a test early, so that was good to see.
Right. She for as far as my lady, she be full of surprises when she come up with like ideas to do something. Boy, she gun ho it. She going forward with it, you know. But like I believe for me, like I don't think I was surprised the first go around, but it was like okay, like I didn't know what to expect because it was our first time doing IVF, and so like as soon as they gave us the green light, hey, she's pregnant. Boy, it was all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I guess changed for my thinking was like, um, I wanted to be there mentally, because my wife is just she's a verbal thinker. She if she's thinking it, she's going to say it out loud and kind of like runs things by me, or if she kind of shoots from the hip most of the time. And sometimes I just don't have the response, so she'll like come to me with like different ideas for the nursery or stuff
Mhm.
like that, and I'm just like, it was just so weird to be in that perspective, be in that position, right? Being told you're expecting is like such a gift and such an honor. And
Right.
then like you still got me, like I feel like, I'm like back in like the frozen embryo transfer days of being like, man, I hope this works. So going through that early and often and
Mhm.
this process has been definitely a transition because like you're still waiting for the shoe to drop. And like
Right.
I don't know if you can like untrain your mentality to do so. But that's just kind of where I was at. I kind of still am. I'll send her things on Pinterest or TikTok and be like, "Yo, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?" So I'm starting to get out of that
Mhm.
mentality, but um, no, it's been a journey. It's been fun, but yeah, I think getting out of that headspace, like I said, maybe hopefully by like week 10, I'll be able to kind of like fully engross, you know, as a dad to be, but also a dad already. Is that something that you kind of felt in the first go round since you guys, had an IVF success story out of the gate? Were you still waiting for the ball to drop, or were you just very blessed, very grateful? Like, what was your mentality?
Very blessed and very grateful, but like kind of waiting for the moment to happen. You
Yeah.
know, is because they tell you, you know, they inform you, hey, you like this is positive, you know, and you know our ladies, you know, they're gonna ask you 1,000 questions, and so it's from like baby names, and they start talking about, you know, where where we should live, and what school, and just um definitely blessed for being a father. Because like I touched bases on earlier, it's just, you know, my idea that I went into it was like, okay, we got the great news on the first try. Now it's time for me to be a better man than my father. You know what I'm saying? So that was always in the back of my head. Like, look, I planted this seed. I must watch it grow, give it everything that it need. You know, and I got a great partner helping me along the way, and we're learning together. So like that first one, man, it was just it was worth the while. It was a blessing.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that. The caveat to two of our stories is, you know, biological and not biological. Obviously, my children are not biological due to my non-obstructive azoospermia we touched on in episode 2, and that was one of those things that like I've thought about during this pregnancy is sure they may not be biologically mine, but it's my job and my responsibility to be the head of the household and be that constant fierce leader, um, inside and out. And what I mean by
Hmm.
that was she's right now, cooking away, um, and she may not be able to see me, maybe not even be able to hear me, but my job and responsibility and my role early and often is to let you know our baby know who I am and kind of what my job is, uh, before they ever grace this earth. right? And that just kind of helps that transition period of once they're, out into this world, our roles, magnify even greater. Especially, the dad's responsibility in the relationship with their kids is so vital and so important. It kind of helps direct them through life a little bit more, like they kind of learn that maybe that work ethic, maybe they learn their drive, their ambition, their goals, their, morals or values or ethics. Like maybe it comes from the dad, maybe it comes from the mom, maybe it comes from both. But your job is so magnified early in the process, whether they're in the womb or not. And kind of watching you, and I guess watching you do that with, your baby girl has been very, very, educational, because I'm like, I just want to be able to do exactly what you're doing. Like it worked. Like you're a great dad, and like just how you have parented and just like how you take control of certain situations is, I applaud you, dude. Like
I appreciate you.
I wish I'm half the man that you are, half the dad you are. So I'm just excited for that journey. Just knowing that, biologically, this child may not be mine, but they absolutely will be my kid.
Exactly.
And I will make sure that, I do my very best now, and, as long as I'm on this planet, to make sure that, I'm fostering a good home, but also, creating, those avenues of success, watching from the sidelines. They're sponges, early and often in their life, they're watching, they're very observant. I can see that through my nephew and my my little cousins. They watch everything that other people do. And so able to be that good role model is something that I'm really looking forward to being.
And you will be. I guarantee you that. I promise you that. Just based off how I know you and your lady. So like, you just keep doing what you're doing, man. Because that kid is gonna recognize you and realize like this is my father. This is my dad. Man, you got it, bro. You got it.
I appreciate the confidence there, Kevin. Being a first time dad is a scary thought in this house right now, because I'm like, I don't know the first. I do know how to change a diaper, but like one of those. It's like it's like one of those things that like I like look up on or not Instagram. I look up on Google, like what's the fastest way to like what's like. I'm gonna try to be like the NASCAR pit crew of diaper changes. One, because I don't want to. I don't have any business being back there. And then you and then you think about like they're just in such a vulnerable area, and you're just like, man, I just hope you don't, I hope you don't hate me for this. Like, just like I hope that those trust issues don't build like when I'm changing your diapers. Just trust me, I know what's going on back there. I'm gonna get this done early and often. That's why I said NASCAR pit crew, in, up, fixed out. It's like Dobbs.
Hey, I just want to say good luck, my boy. Because when that kid have a blowout, boy, you are SOL. You just, that pit crew is gonna be going slow. All right.
Don't tell me that, because I've already like done so much of like, man, I want to put our kid in this outfit or this outfit. I wouldn't say I'm a stylish guy.
Right.
I would say that
you got some style. You got some style.
I probably appreciate it, but like I see some outfits and I was like, man, I would just hate to be in a scenario where that outfit's gonna have to burn that. Where that's just an RIP. That's a one time use. Like I don't want that. Like baby clothes aren't cheap by any means, but like
no.
they make some cute clothes, and then I would just hate for my kid to just it's like I'd rather flush $20 down the toilet than watch it be shit all over. I'm terrified for that, Kevin. You got style too, man. Like and I've thought about this too, because my brother-in-law talks about it too. He's like, you think they're ruining they're ruining their clothes? Just wait till they start ruining yours. I was like, no. Don't talk about that, because I'm like, I enjoy my wardrobe of clothes.
Right.
But as soon as we start getting those blowouts,
hey, it's good luck, Chuck, my boy. Good luck, Chuck. Okay, because hey, I would get to the point where it's like, let me go into the situation without a shirt. Because guess what? I'm not about to wear my favorite shirt and you mess up my shirt. But hey, you can ruin these shorts, these sweatpants. It's all right. They owe it anyway.
Did you do some like daddy boot camp? Like, how did you get to the point where you're like, I got this? Like, what did you do? Like, how did you?
Crazy enough, believe it or not, so me and Ellie wound up doing a class at one of the hospitals, and it's like the parenting class, and so we would go in, I think, once every week, probably for like 4 to 6 weeks, and it was like more so, I think, Friday or Saturday. So we would go in, and they would discuss like the mother, and then they would have the men do like, I don't want to say like a presentation, but it was more like like a everyone was joining together to do like an activity, but it was like the guys doing something. So like I have to show you the bar, but it's like one of them that we did, you had to pretend like we were pregnant, so they gave us balloons, try to walk this way. So like the class very like it really helped on, like, it touched bases on a lot of stuff, of like some stuff that you might not even think about. So like I would consider the class, just let you know that there is a little period where that Friday hit, or I think it's Friday or Saturday, whatever day it is, that just know you're gonna be in that class. And it wasn't that long, but it's definitely worth looking into.
When you say you, why were you wearing the balloon?
Because they wanted us to pretend like we were pregnant, and so they gave us these balloons, and then the men we had to try to sit down. They had something like a object, and we were all interacting with the object, pretending to be the mother to see how it feels. So that's what the one of the class group activity was.
I mean, I already look like 3 months pregnant. I don't think I'm gonna need the balloon. Like, I mean, we could definitely try to advise on maybe if that class. I'm just like I'm definitely afraid of holding a child. Like, again, my nephew is 2 months old, and every time I hold him, he gets a little squirmy. And I was
Right.
like, I'm just trying to like tuck him in and make sure he's good, make sure the head's supported. I feel like, I mean, this is a human life you're holding,
Yeah.
and he's just over here willy nilly, just throwing his body around, whipping his arms back and forth, chucking his head back, and I'm like, my guy, like, are you good? So I just want to be supportive. Like I said, I want to be a good role model, but like I think the trust issues,
Right.
they could be daddy issues at some point, but I don't want that to be a thing. Be like, yo, like, like my dad chucked me, across the room because he couldn't hold on to me, or hey, my dad was horrible at diaper changes. Like I have the severe diaper rash. Like I don't want to be responsible for that. Like that's what I'm thinking about. That's what's terrifying and wakes me up at night is like, am I gonna be good enough? Like, is my kid gonna look up at me in the middle of a diaper change and being like, dude, you suck. Like,
No.
please get
No.
mom.
No. Look, I tell you this: when you're in it, it's different. Like, yeah, you do think about all that, but like living it and going through it, like yeah, you're gonna have concerns of possibly dropping the baby, and that was a thought for me. Like, oh man, I hope I don't drop baby girl,
Mm.
and sure enough, it's like it never happened. Or I hope that she doesn't roll over while we're on the couch watching something, But like, it just, once you're in it, is like that right there. It becomes second nature to you.
I just feel like I feel like I'm missing the ball. I feel like I need to like watch like how-to classes.
Or you could just take the how-to class. But look, but to be honest, I think with you and your nephew, that's your test run. You just need to just hold him a little bit more. Just start timing yourself. 30 minutes. Let me see what I can do. 30 minutes. Do a little
I'm
walk
already I'm already
around.
I'm already starting to try to sing to him. I'm trying to like rock him a certain way. I'm like sometimes I do imitate him crying back to him to see if if he likes it or not.
All
Sometimes he
right.
does, sometimes he doesn't. He's like, "Oh, like that sounds annoying." Like I might just be quiet for a second. Uh, So I'm learning for sure. But hey, sorry to get off topic for a second. I was just curious. These are things I think about. I'm all over the place. This podcast is all over the place. But I was just like, talking about being a dad early and often, and I was like, I feel like I'm gonna suck,
No,
and I don't
bro.
want that
No.
because I'm like, I try to like, if I, my wife always says all the time that like, once I start something, like I'm in it 1,000%, and that's like what I'm gonna try to do as being a dad. Like, I mean, I wear dad hats. I have clothes that say dad on it already. Like, I'm fully engrossed in that. Like, that's my identity. Like, sure, my name might be Dakota, and I used to be a former chef, but like now, I'm I'm the dad to my child. Like, that's my role and responsibility 24/7. So I just want to try to do it to the best of my ability. And right now, my ability is, I don't know if it's there yet. It's a work in progress. Come back in a couple months and see if I've learned a lot, because I'm going to be picking Kevin's brain left and right. But I think I think we should touch on the story a little bit more
Okay.
about she's pregnant. Now what? Okay.
Right.
So early and often, woo, yay! Did you guys celebrate? Did you have like this warm embrace? Like what was the vibes in the house? And then like after that, like what was the feeling like? Was it like a feeling of like, holy cow, like, all right, great. Like, was there a sense of relief? Did you feel like the pressure lifted off? Like, what were your emotions kind of going through all that?
I would say joy, and with that being said, we were ecstatic to get the news that she was pregnant, and come along with that is wanting to tell certain folks and be like, hey, don't spill the beans, because some people tend to like to share the news before you share the news, and then you start thinking about, all right, what's the next steps? Okay, what do we need before she gets here? And so just going through that and just picking other people's brains that's already fathers, or just let alone just parents. And with that, they just drop gems on you, and you start thinking, okay, all right, well, pinpoint this, remember this, and then once you go through that whole journey within itself, is like some things may pivot. So yeah, it was something that we definitely enjoy. Definitely relief of knowing that this is the real deal. Like we have the test results. She has got confirmation from the doctor. This is legit.
It's funny that you mentioned the telling people part. You've met me, Kevin. Like, I'm one of the girls. Like, if you tell me something, I'm telling the next person. We just had an encounter today where we were playing telephone in the office because you were like, "Hey, did you hear about this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because I heard it through this person. Thanks for the invite." So as you as we go along in this process, I think my office people knew probably a little bit earlier than my actual family. One, because that news is sacred. That doesn't really leave that office. But it was like very hard going through this process. Like, and we were invested 9 months into this process, and you're just like, the first thing you want to do is just scream it from the rooftops, right?
Yep.
Like, at least I did. Definitely my wife, because it just like, once it's there and you get confirmation and you get all this news and you're seeing it and legitimately seeing it, you're just like, all right, cool. Who are we telling? We told everybody unconventionally. I think we told like my cousins at a cousin night. We told my dad's side. As we saw them, we told my mom's side. Via FaceTime call. Like, everybody was told unconventionally. Oh wow, that was crazy. Can't talk apparently. We told everybody unconventionally, which is fine. But everybody wanted to know. I think everybody was kind of pressing us a little bit. We kind of told everybody about our story, about our journey, like what we were doing, when we were doing it. Of course, they're like, we haven't heard an update in like a month. Like, are you guys good? Like, you guys around? Like, is
Right.
everything okay? Are you guys okay? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. How do you lie to people that have known you basically your entire life, changed your diapers? I know we were on the subject of diaper talk, but it was like, how do you try to tell those people, or how do you lie to those people for so long? Or not lie. I won't say
Right.
lie.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah,
tell
yeah.
them. But finally it came out and whatnot, and um, with IVF, there's a possibility for twins. I know we had a poll up at work about that. I appreciate my work friends, jumping in and trying to make sure that I knew that it was a possibility.
Right.
But I think that's the cool part about pregnancy is like getting to see everybody's emotions, getting to see people that you love and care about,
Mhm.
kind of live vicariously through you. And so I can only imagine how you guys told everybody. But did you try to gather everybody together, or was it more of a as you saw people, you kind of told them?
As far as like her mom and dad, I mean, we told them. I can't remember if they were here or they were out of town, but either way, we told her parents. I called my mom, and then I believe when her parents got back in town, and then we did like Sunday Fun Day, we told like the family, you know. Um, so like I like FaceTime like my mom and my sister. It's like, hey, look, hey, we got one on the way. Let's go. And so, like, what is it? Yeah, you got a name? Like, don't, yeah, whoa, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. Y'all just stay tuned, just like everybody else. Y'all gotta wait in line. Just know that y'all VIP though. We gonna come back to y'all. But eventually over time, like we brought her family aside, and wound up doing like one of those like cupcake reveals, and the kids were ecstatic. They were stoked. We wound up hitting them with questions first, like, hey, what do you guys believe it's gonna be? And sure enough, they voted, and then sure enough, when they start biting the cupcakes, the answers start getting revealed, and good God, the amount of girls in her family and my family, I'm like, oh, another girl added to the family.
when when you were early on in the process of going through, so I guess it's like a two-parter.
Mhm.
When you guys were early on in the IVF process, had you had names picked out prior, or was this something that you kind of like once you found out, then you kind of solidified a name? What was your naming structure like? Were you,
Oh,
because Brennan was hitting me with names early and often. I mean, I think we first started discussing names when we first got together.
right.
And so I was like, okay, I know which ones are on her, radar. But like, what
hmm
was it for you and your wife? Like, were you guys talking about names before the process, during the process, after you found out? Like, what was it like?
More so during the process, and then after we found out, um, but Ellie, she is something else. So she wound up creating a notes app and shared it with me where we can like collaborate. And so we had girl names and boy names, and then she sent me an invitation to an app where like you can like do girl names, boy names, and neutral. And so like I get on there. It was kind of weird because it was like you swipe through like Tinder on like names. You be like, nah, yes, yes. And so with that, she just wound up like compiling like a list of like stuff that we liked and added it in there. And then more so us going through the journey of IVF, is when we start like pinpointing some names, like this was asterisk, this was asterisk. I'm like, I'm not too sure about that one. I'm not feeling it, but like once we start getting close, and then she's like, "What do you think about this name?" I said, "Oh, I love that. That right there just rolls off the tongue, and it's beautiful."
Did
so,
you guys did you guys did you guys agree, or did you guys disagree more?
um, no, knowing me, definitely like some of those names that are neutral. I'm like, nah, look. If it's a girl, it needs to sound like a girl name. It don't need to be no girl boy name. If it's a boy, he don't need to have no neutral name. If it's let's be strong and firm on which one we gonna decide on. And when she had told me the name, I was like, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, because I think early on in our adventure with IVF, I think we were just kind of like spitballing. boy and girl names. I think girl names are way easier to come up with than boy names. But I will say there's some tough boy names that I'm just like, I either do not like the name altogether. There's either some like deep rooted history. Like, I've met a person that I hated with this name, and so like you can't get that out of your head.
Yep.
Not saying that I'm judging by any means, but the last thing I want to do is look down at my kid and be like, "Fuck, I hated that guy growing up." This is just these are just internal thoughts at this point. My apologies. Right. But like we I think disagreed more than we agreed, and I think we're just those type of people that like we want it to like when we hear it, it's gonna be like that light bulb moment where you're just like, that's it. So we early on decided on, you know, a couple names, but I think the thing that was the hardest for me, and maybe I'm crazy, and maybe this isn't for everybody, but deciding like a middle name.
Oh
like
yeah,
just having it flow together, you know?
Yes. Because when she had said the name, and of course, you know, like my last name is Hill, but like when she said the middle name, I was like, that's different. But I like it though, you know. But like even with her having her first name with a different middle name, I was like, nah, that ain't it. Back to the drawing board. That ain't it. But once she had said her name, I was like, okay, you own something. I like it. And then it had a meaning to it, you know. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, this is it.
I'm a softie. We talked about this in episode 2 that I'm just a softie. But I was like, oh, you know, like I want to keep a family name, or like I like whatnot, and like that was what I thought about like during the process of like naming, and I'm like, oh, like, well, what can we do? And then I'm like, my immediate thought was, oh, shit, are they gonna like that their name is being used as somebody else's name? Like, are they gonna hate that? Are they gonna love it? Not like you can ask them like, hey, do I have permission to use your name? But like, I was just like, oh, like how is this gonna work? Like we were talking about like middle names for our baby, and I was just like, man, that would be a cool name, but like did we like them? Like, I mean, they were alive over 200 years ago. Like, did they have like some family lore? Like what happened? Like, these are all things that, again, like I'm an overthinker. Like I'm just digging myself holes left and right. But yeah,
over analyzing.
Yeah. they, like I think this podcast should be called the Guide to Being a Dad, because like there's so many things you learn early often. Like my wife is what 8 weeks pregnant. And I'm just like over analyzing everything. I'm like, okay, I'm like looking at strollers. I'm like looking at like ratings. And I was like, all right, well, has this survived a like 70-mile-an-hour crash on Highway 55? Like, is this like crash test certified? Like, what's like, is this like going to be able to be like, if I need to like rush into the house for some reason, can I like pop lock and drop that thing out of the car seat? Like, I'm like looking at things. I'm looking at bows, how to like French braid a hair, just in case. Like I'm just like I'm like looking at things that probably don't matter now, but I'm just like
no.
Boy, dude, I've got carpal tunnel. I'm just like I'm gonna be doing a French braid, and I'm gonna get my hands intertwined in her.
That's me now. I follow his dad page on Instagram, and that's me now. And this guy, he does some radical things with his girl's hair, and I'm all like, my baby girl won't be able to sit still long enough for me to do that. You know, I just put it up in like 2 ponytails and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Or just lick it back and then we go.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I can barely keep up with my hair. I mean, my father's bald. His dad went semi-bald. I'm like, should I just go bald so I can spend more time on my kid's hair? Like I wake up an hour before work. I'm gonna have to wake up 3 hours just to get myself and my kid ready. Like I'm like going through all those motions. I'm just, man, like this.
Man, you got some good set of hair, my boy. You got that slick, like comb back G style type of hair.
I appreciate that. I wish I could rap like him, but yeah, that's not happening. I got the pipes, just not the rhythm.
It's all right. Yeah, at least you know to stay in your lane.
What are some of the thanks? What are some things that that you like when you first kind of like got the news, what are some things that like you were glad you put on the baby registry? What are some good things that you know thought about purchasing, ended up purchasing that you thought would benefit you and have come in quite handy? Like, what are some things like if you were to give a dad like me advice, like what are some things you're like, man, people don't like it, but I did and it worked. Like, what are some things that you've really liked using early on in your
Oh,
dad?
I could tell you one of the things that I really enjoyed, and but Ellie was like, I don't like that thing. We just need to get rid of it. It was like the diaper garbage pail. And so like you
The
step
diaper
on
genie.
it. Is that what it's called? But yeah, we
Yeah.
had one of those in baby girl's room, and man, I use that thing heavily. I take the trash out, on Sunday night. I'm taking all that out because it's, all that smell is in there. So I started taking garbage bags, and I just took them out the box and just set them at the bottom. So I wanted to go back downstairs to get a new bag. But that thing right there, man, it was the best. It was the best. Ellie would say otherwise, though.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to think. Like, I think my wife's more of a minimalist. She doesn't want things to be too crowded in the nursery.
Right.
And I'm trying to like look at what will be our nursery and just kind of get a floor plan
Mm-hmm.
together. I'm not much of a builder. I will say I did build this table that I'm currently sitting at, and yes, it's still standing. But I'm just like, all right, well, how are we going to configure this? Like, how is this going to work? Like, when you guys were going through your nursery, like, was there things where you like made a floor plan and you're like, this is going to go there, this is going to go there, and like, did you guys actually stick to it?
Oh yeah. When I say Ellie's a radical, like she thinks about stuff a lot of just we we don't need it, but we might need it, so let's get it. Definitely one of the biggest things that we got. I mean, obviously the crib, but like is a recliner. So we got a recliner in there because say if she goes in there and gets her, she doesn't have to take her back to the room. She could just, coddle her and do what she needs to do
Mm-hmm.
in the rocking chair. And then we had got like a Nanette camera. That thing was awesome. I mean, you got to pay for the subscription, but I think it's worthwhile because they have like monitor and sound, and you can get like an alert from like your phone, or you can buy the one with the screen monitor. But we wound up getting like the app version of it, and shoot, of course a diaper changing station. But those were like the things that we would use like 25/8
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to it. I want to say rocking chair, recliner, the camera, the diaper pail, and what else did I say?
I mean, you said the camera, but I think you
Yeah,
mentioned everything you said. Yeah.
exactly. So like those right there were like the top three things for us that we were using like on a daily.
Yeah, I'm looking at maybe like some other stuff like what do they call those? A wipe warmer. That's a thing. I don't know if my kid's gonna come out with a pampered ass, but like, if those wipes aren't warm enough, I don't know, man. As a kid, I'm thinking
um,
about. I mean, I raw dogged everything. My parents didn't care about a wipe warmer. My dad dressed me like a clown sometimes. Like I don't think they cared, but I'm a '90s baby. Like
yep.
nowadays, my child's gonna be born in 2027, and like they got everything. They got you name it.
Everything.
You name it. They're thinking about it, man. Thank God to Jeff
Exactly.
Bezos and Elon Musk. Like we're gonna have a changing table that flies. It's gonna be able
Right.
to transport from the changing station to your bedroom with a remote control. It's gonna be like flying a drone from the nursery
Look,
and it just lands like that. Like
I,
we're thinking about everything.
I tell you what, boy, I would not trust no damn drone to fly my kid to the room, let alone try to open the damn door. You was something else. Oh, speaking of the wipe thing, bottle warmer for sure, bottle warmer
Oh
and a
yeah.
mini fridge, bottle warmer and a mini fridge.
So you're saying I can't put the bottles and the beer in the same fridge?
I mean, you could get it how you live, bro. If you like it, I love it. it's your choice. But
I got bottles for myself and I got bottles for the baby. You know, like
yeah, but I don't
we're
think
not.
those two don't go hand in hand together, my boy. Look,
No,
if
I
you're gonna get the
know.
bottle for the baby, just get the bottle for the baby. Go on about your business. Take care of the
Yeah,
baby. You could drink after.
yeah. No, yeah, but that's the thing. Early and often, like I think I'm on dad duty. I don't think I'm gonna start drinking till I'm like they're 2 years old because they're gonna require my attention all the
Uh,
time. You know.
yeah, and then until they take a nap, my boy, or go to sleep, go night night. And then that's when you're like, all right, how much time did I got to do what I need to do? And then
That's
we
true.
pivot.
It's a really good pivot to the next question I was going to ask, and probably the last one for the pod. But when you were, thinking about the delivery day and like what happened after that, and obviously we're going to touch on this come episode 4, so this might be a little teaser.
Right.
Were you guys more of a schedule person? Like have the kid on a schedule, have your guys' own schedule? Like you took AM, she took PM. Like were you guys just kind of like in the flow? Were you just like kind of like picking up where she left off? Like or were you guys down to a schedule? Like how did you guys kind of navigate the first couple of days and obviously early weeks of
Right.
parenthood?
Definitely on the flow, because at that point in time I worked in the city, and so with her being home, she'd be, morning, afternoon. I come home, do my dad due diligence, and then more so at night she would like breastfeed. So even with her not breastfeeding, sometimes I was like, okay, what I need to get, which that mini fridge and bottle warmer came in handy. So at the nighttime is we kind of pivot, but it was more so like more of her because she was breastfeeding. And then
That's fair.
yeah,
I like that. Yeah, I'm more of a people like all my friends will tell you I'm a planner. I like to try to be as organized as I possibly can. And I've already started thinking about like a routine. Like I'm
right.
watching my sister and brother-in-law, and they've had a schedule, and it kind of falls apart from time to time based off of
Mm-hmm.
my nephew's needs. But I'm like, yeah, I like a schedule. Hell yeah! And then of course my baby's gonna come, and that schedule's gonna get thrown out.
Yep.
Back to the drawing board. But yeah, I'm just kind of internalizing. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Like I can do like this round of rotations, like as long as we got bottles ready to go. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm just thinking about that going forward. But we can touch on that in episode 4. I was just very, very curious kind of how you guys kind of manipulated the system.
Right.
But yeah, we'll touch on that in episode 4. Kevin, another outstanding episode from us. We'll pat ourselves on the back being 3 episodes in. If you've
Yes,
listened
sir.
this long, we really appreciate it. Thanks for listening to us ramble on about what not to do as a dad and what to look forward to as a dad. We've got both of those scenarios right here. Follow us along on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X. We're posting reels of previous episodes. We're posting teasers for the next one. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share. If you like our content, let us know you're watching. Let us know you're listening. Give us a comment. Give us a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Apple or Spotify. We'd love to listen to what you have to say about the podcast, things we get to work on, things we shouldn't work on. Maybe we just dissolve this whole thing. Let us know how you feel. Also DM us, email us, let us know certain topics or discussions that you want us to have, or if you liked one, give us a description of what you thought about the show. We're constantly kind of working on ourselves, obviously as dads and as people, but as podcasters too. We're new to this game, so let us know how you feel about the podcast. Like I said before, give us a follow, give us a like, let us know you're watching. But Kevin, I'm really excited about where this podcast is at. 3 episodes in, looking forward to episode 4. Anything else you got for the people?
Likewise, my brother. No, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. For those that are tuning in, and like you said, follow us on all those social medias. We're looking to get feedback as well.
Oh yes, I do have one extra thing to mention. We have in our bio, you can click the description. We have a link tree. You can grab all of our social media, all of our platforms that we're on. But there's one extra thing that we added to that. We are sponsored by W Energy. If you're a dad, you know all about the energy you're going to need, whether you're lacking it, whether you're needing it. We are sponsored by W. So if you want to grab your W with 10% off, use code RADDADPOD. Be sure to put that in the when you check out. You'll put code RADDADPOD. You'll get 10% off your orders, not just one order, all of your orders. Yeah, follow along with them. They're constantly releasing new flavors, new drink options, new powders, new whatever. Very good. They just kind of restocked their Beach and Peach, which is pretty delicious. I think Kevin's sipping on that right now.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
good.
yeah, it's pretty good. So for all of our listeners, all of our followers, use code RADDADPOD for W Energy. The link is in our description. But Kev, great job, man. Everyone, we'll see you next episode. See you later.
Peace.